This morning, two old rivals met. I heard it went well.
I believe that it is important for all of us, regardless of party and regardless of political preferences, to now come together, work together, to deal with the many challenges that we face. Most of all, I want to emphasize to you, Mr. President-elect, that we now are going to want to do everything we can to help you succeed, because if you succeed, then the country succeeds.
This was a meeting that was going to last for maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and we were just going to get to know each other. We had never met each other. I have great respect. The meeting lasted for almost an hour and a half, and it could have, as far as I'm concerned, it could have gone on for a lot longer. We really, we discussed a lot of different situations, some wonderful and some difficulties. I very much look forward to dealing with the President in the future, including counsel.
Every time he moves his hands, they take pictures. But you got to wonder, what did they really talk about? Did the President say, dude, Obamacare, it's the only thing with my name on it. Please don't. And did President-elect Trump respond, only if you show me your birth certificate? Now, yesterday, Mr. Obama described the transition as a handoff in a relay race. So what's he really handing off? A country diminished abroad and divided within, plagued with internal tensions and anxiety about the future? He's handing President-elect Trump a 240-year-old fixer-upper. It's okay, though. The good news, the new guy has help. He's got the House, the Senate, new governors, legislatures, and he has the American people who elected him. Yet last night, we saw anti-Trump demonstrators protesting a fair election. Wouldn't it be nice if they protested the dozen or so countries that kill gays or beat women, and not a democratically held election? Every immigrant in America who escaped real conflict laughs at these preening twerps. I'll bet my weight in Doritos that not one of these phonies protests places where people die trying to vote. But I get it. You're upset. Do you expect us now to cancel the election because you're so sad? Okay, you win. We'll call up Hillary. You jerks. It's too late. Bottom line, President Obama and President-elect Trump got along. It might not have been easy, but it beats crying like a bunch of spoiled and soiled brats. All right, let's go around this way, Kimberly. What do you think they
Did you see the Miley Cyrus video?
Yes. She was crying, but she was hopeful, too.
When is everyone moving?
I don't know. They're not moving. They're not moving.
Foley's going to save all that money.
I know. Flights. Yes, free flights.
Yes, ask a serious question.
What do you think they talked about? It was a long time.
Couldn't you tell just from kind of the whole feeling of that meeting and when they came out together? You have respect for the office of the presidency. He went in there. I think he had an honest conversation. I'm sure there's things that the president talked to him about that are serious situations going on, and the enormity of the office and the position. I think you can tell by looking at Donald Trump, president-elect, that he was in awe of the office, in a good way, of the responsibility that he will have, and especially because of so many people supporting him and being so ardent in terms of their desire to see change in Washington. So he's going to need to be able to talk to President Obama and have that kind of counsel and guidance, and perhaps also talk to President Bush, while at the same time honoring what he said he was going to do about draining the swamp and making change in Washington, D.C., but at the same time, he has to be able to govern and govern effectively and put all those positions in place. It's a lot. It's an enormous responsibility.
Eric, it was kind of, I mean, that's the first time they met. How do you think it went? I mean, I don't think President Obama ever thought that was going to happen. Although a lot of people didn't.
I'm sure he didn't, because of things he said about Trump just a couple of days ago. Wow, what a moment, though. I mean, seeing Trump walk around the White House, seeing Trump on the balcony, Speaker Ryan's balcony, the Speaker's balcony, which I've been to, it's unbelievable. Amazing. That view straight down, looking at the reflection pool and seeing the Washington, it's incredible. And seeing Trump there, boy, we've come a long way. It's 600 days since he announced It was amazing. Think about this, though, for a second. The daunting task that he has in front of him. Being the outsider, I noticed that he put up a website about jobs. And he literally needs, I think they said 350 West Wing jobs in the next couple of days, getting them in place right away. 4,000 jobs, and I noticed one thing that they said, if you're a D.C. insider, if you've been through in the system, don't bother applying for these jobs. That is a daunting task for this man, but I think if anyone can do it, he'll do it. I think this was more cordial.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. I know we've had our differences. And President Obama has a serious problem right here, right now.
Yeah.
He's got to make sure that his legacy now is somewhat intact. I mean, his policies got destroyed in prior elections. Now, as you point out, Obamacare is the only thing left with his name on it.
And the executive order.
And the executive. By the way, I think that will be the first thing Trump does. The first thing is go through the list of executive orders and just dismantle every single one of them. Sign those things off as being no longer in play. Take them out of the work. Look, it's a big moment. An hour and a half, I'm sure it was a lot like. Can you imagine the first time you walk into the Oval Office and realize that's going to be your office for at least 4 years?
Yeah, and Trump's going like, I need new drapes. I need a whole renovation. There's no gold in this
More
chair.
gold.
Dana, they said they talked about wonderful and difficult things. What do you think went on in there?
I would say probably there was a little bit of talking about the personal, about raising children in the spotlight. Yeah. And in the White House, and how wonderful that can be, but also how do you protect them? And I think that the Obamas have done a very good job of that. Of course, they got advice from George and Laura Bush on that as well. I imagine that what President Obama wanted to talk to him about was the importance of filling the very critical national security positions before January 20th. The reason I say that is because transitions are historically a very vulnerable time for a country. We were attacked in 1993, and then again in September 11th, which was in that first 9 months of the administration. And other countries have seen similar things. Britain, Spain, and that's why there are about 20 national security positions that must be filled with people that know what they're doing. Yeah. And so I think that President Obama probably talked to him about that. It says that he briefed him on, Josh Earnest said that Obama briefed Donald Trump on the upcoming trip he's taking to Greece, Germany, and Peru. Gives you sort of a range of things that the president has to deal with on a daily basis, but I would imagine that Obama's and Trump's most important issue was national security.
Can I throw one more thing? I know we're going to get to one, but if you remember when President Obama took over from the Bush administration, after the first security briefing, now we found out in hindsight, not right away, but after the first security briefing, President Obama was shocked at what he didn't know and what they don't know. Yeah, and he was very thankful to the Bush administration for at least working with them to get to the point where he's at least comfortable with what's going on in some of the major hotspots around the world. And I do remember Peter Baker wrote a piece about this years ago, about when President Obama found out how all the lurking and looming and imminent dangers there were. He changed a lot of things immediately based on that first security briefing.
He did.
Well, what do you think? Do you think that President Obama gave him any inside info or any advice, Juan, that might affect him, Trump?
What do you mean?
Anything? Did he say, okay, let's talk about Obamacare?
No. I think it was beyond that. I mean, I think clearly Dana hit the major point. It's about national security at this juncture. He is literally taking the baton, as the president said, in a relay race. And so you had an opportunity to say to him, look, I'm taking you seriously, and I'm going to share with you. So when I heard Trump say, you know, this meeting was supposed to be 15 minutes, but it went over an hour and a half and could have lasted longer, I think he was getting something out of it, and I think he was the one who felt, hey, you know what, this is important, understanding the majesty and I think the burden of the office. The problem here is, you know, a lot of the things that he has promised to do, I think, you know, President Obama would have to speak to him about, well, here's the deal with the Iranians and nukes.
That's what I meant.
Okay, here's the deal. Here's what's going on when we have an alliance with NATO, and here's why we're doing this, and give him a sense of what it means to speak offhandedly about something like saying, oh, you know, why don't the Chinese just invade North Korea and take care of that problem? Oh, wait a second, have you thought about, you know, what we're doing there, about the South China Sea and other issues that the United States government has an interest in, what's going on? So I think it's about giving him a sense, look, I may not like you, I may not agree with you, you were mocking me, I was mocking you, but right now this is what's imperative for the American interest around the globe.
Anybody want to comment about the protest last night? It seems like a lot of panic. It was like one big, long, emotional tantrum.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like inform yourself of the issues. Who are those specific people protesting like the protests we've seen? Listen, the Constitution protects your right to be able to demonstrate and to be able to, you know, protest, etc. But I'm just curious, really, what the makeup is in terms of the people that are protesting there.
Did they vote?
Yeah, did they vote?
Did they vote? And did they take a look at the electoral map that was covered? Read that this isn't like about any other issue. Primarily, it was about change and wanting change in D.C. and accountability and about working men and women. And there's a lot of really good people that have good hearts that love this country.
Were they
patriots
paid?
That voted.
Is Donald Trump creating jobs from day one, the minute after he was elected, by having paid protesters to get out there?
You don't even understand the depth of feeling that people have about the election.
I think I do.
People are very upset.
I think the emotions
and you
ran
suggest
high
that these
for the better part.
Hang on, let me finish.
For the better part
Did
of a year and a half.
Do I interrupt you every time you speak?
I
do not.
However, I do understand the depth of emotion that has gone on,
but
even
you
at
don't,
this table, even in the bill. Yes, I do.
But I'm telling you, these people have genuine fears and worries about Donald Trump as president for legitimate reasons, and you shouldn't be saying, oh, they're paid. Why not suggest, hey, you know what? They're out there, they're Americans, and they're giving voice to legitimate concerns.
There was one that was wondering where the presidential assassination was, or where or when it was going to happen. You didn't see this one? I guess you maybe should, you know, take a peek at some of the websites.
The thing that I get from this is that they actually believe they're protesting other people's votes, Dana.
Right.
I think it's like they're almost saying like this isn't fair. This Democratic vote is not fair.
Well, and of course, the losing side of the Electoral College, if you win the popular vote, though it looks apparently Donald Trump is creeping up on at least maybe even hitting that mark in terms of the popular vote. But let's just say in 2000, if you don't win the popular vote but you win in the Electoral College, there's a lot of bitterness and a look back to say, what in the world were the Founding Fathers thinking when they did the Electoral
By the way, I
College?
was so proud to hear you praise President Obama in your monologue today. Oh. Because you know what? I mean, he acted like a champ in terms of greeting Trump, treating him as he did. And if he hadn't, you would have said he's a sore loser.
No, that's an example of people getting along. I think we have a picture of President and President-elect with their spouses. Don't we have something that just came out there? Oh, it's the spouses. See, having a good time. There you go. Everybody can get along, including Eric and Juan.
So then why don't people take a cue from the president and president-elect?
President Obama was very gracious.
Yes.
Mrs. Clinton was very gracious yesterday. I hear a lot of very negative lefties all over the TV yesterday and today not being quite so gracious about Donald Trump.
Oh, no, I'm gracious, but I'm going to tell you, when you diminish people's legitimate concerns about a man with a record he has on race,
you called the
women.
President-elect a racist last night.
I think that his behavior, it's not just me. How about Paul Ryan? How about the Speaker of the House? He said this is classic definition of racism.
Let me tell you something. There was none of that from Obama. There was none of that from Clinton.
Fine.
At least
nobody ever did that here about President Obama.
A truce called on that kind of rhetoric. You want to pick it up later? Go ahead.
It's very disrespectful and it's inappropriate.
You can't ask people to shut up and close their eyes to who Donald Trump is.
All right.
And also, what about giving the man a chance? He won fair and square by a tremendous amount of votes from a variety of people, minorities, women, all of the above. And wait and see, he's going to exceed your expectations.
All right.